For more on this, we're now joined by the CEO of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, Wayne Duvenage, and he joins us via our video link. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Of course, let's start off here. As OUTA, what is your reaction to the latest arrests that we have seen pertaining to the former SA board chairperson, Dudu?
We are very pleased that accountability is starting to be meted out now. Dudu was involved in so many wrongdoings. We saw this coming to the fore during the State Capture Commission, and we saw it in our case against her when we had her declared a delinquent director for her conduct during her tenure as SAA. So we're very happy. But we want to see this followed through right the way through to then hopefully she does get charged and is put into orange overalls and spends time in jail.
And when you look at the actual case, I mean, we knew of these revelations that came out from the State Capture Commission of Inquiry and by the former Bosasa employee, Angelo Agrizzi, who gave us these revelations in the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. What do you make of us, seeing that, it was indeed because of these security upgrades which were conducted on many homes, but at the same time, there's also the questioning of the payments which were given to Dudu during that time?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of favors and money changing hands, and this has come to the fore in the Bosasa revelations. She was very quick not to say anything at the Zondo Commission, not to incriminate herself. But I think the evidence that they've gathered, I don't think the NPA would go this far to have her arrested and charged now formally if they didn't have strong evidence of her wrongdoing. So we believe that as this case unfolds and as the evidence is presented, she has transgressed the Companies Act, and I believe she'll be found guilty of fraud and corruption.
And Wayne, we continue to see the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, or just the investigations thereof, being done, that not enough arrests are being made, even though we've seen or spent so much money as a country with the revelations in which we saw in that specific commission. What does it say about accountability in this regard, and the fact that, we are starting to see some sort of the arrests being done in that manner, and a number of South Africans have been calling for these arrests?
Yeah, look, not enough has happened. That commission took years, and there's a lot of evidence there. And I mean, besides the commission, we've laid charges against a number of people, high prominent ministers even, and very little has happened. And we need to see accountability as a nation if we're going to be confident in the fact that our government is getting on top of corruption. But we don't seem to see this urgency, this tendency to really get on top of what is required for civil society to have faith in government, and that is to start seeing people arrested. It's just few and far between for where we should be today.
One would also say, Wayne, when you look at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, and specifically looking in terms of, the charges that Dudu is facing pertaining to security upgrades being done on her home. I clearly remember there even one of our ministers, Gwede Mantashe's name also being brought to the fore. We know that Zizi Kodwa as well has been mentioned in the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. At the same time, there was also Mr. Thabang Makwetla as well. Are you surprised that you're only seeing one person here being arrested?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of other prominent names there, as you said, and even more with Mkhize and others that have been implicated in wrongdoing. But I think, as time unfolds and as these cases are put together, hopefully we will see more people. Dudu was was a go-between person. She was a middleman in the whole scheme of things, and quite a prominent person, with very connected to Jacob Zuma. She was his chairperson of his foundation, and I think that's how she found her way into chairing SAA. And we saw at SAA how she did so much damage to that airline. It was profitable before she started chairing it, and it became trashed. Lots of deals were being done. Money was being allocated to small boutique finance houses when it shouldn't have been. This is what led to Cynthia Stimple being pushed out of the organization as well. So there was so much wrongdoing. So we really are pleased that she is being held accountable. But you're quite right. There are so many other names, and they cannot get off scot-free.
So you are saying that, the arrest in which we saw today is warranted, and, people would say that they are targeting Dudu Myeni because of her close links to former President Jacob Zuma.
No, not necessarily. She was very involved in so many things that were going wrong and in state capture. So, I'm not sure that it's just a targeted situation because of her links to Jacob Zuma, but she was extremely, she was implicated, and very clearly so. And I think it's time now that she faced the music. But there are others. There are others that have been implicated, and they too need to face the music.
You are saying that you believe that the NPA has a strong case here. And if I, just jog our memories a bit from what we heard at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, we were told of 300,000 Rand being given to Dudu Myeni, 300,000 Rand being given to Dudu Myeni in a Louis Vuitton bag. Now that we see her being arrested for this matter, do you think that we will get the answers that many South Africans have been wanting, especially from what we heard from the Zondo Commission?
Yeah, look, as I said, she didn't want to say much to incriminate herself, but I think the Hawks and the NPA have gathered enough evidence to link her to the crimes, to fraud and corruption. If she's receiving gifts of that nature and upgrades to her house, there needs to be explanations for that. She was linked, on the boards of some of the water boards as well while she was at SAA. So, and just if you look at our case where we had her declared as a delinquent director, although I'm not sure any of those items have been brought up. But those cases were put to the NPA, all that evidence, and she was extremely out of line when we had her declared as a delinquent director. So I think she's got what's coming to her now.
Yeah, so you believe that she has a lot to answer to, especially now that we've seen this arrest?
Absolutely.
All right, then, Wayne,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time here on the Late Edition. That is Wayne Duvenage from the Organising Undoing Tax Abuse, just giving us his insight when it comes to the arrest of Dudu Myeni. And you'd remember that case that was brought before the High Court in Pretoria by OUTA, which found Dudu Myeni as a delinquent director.